Hello, welcome to Coffee and Chat. It's been a while because things have been very, very crazy. Today I actually have a bit of a story to tell you, and that is quite interesting because the theme of this video is one of those cheesy lines like, oh, like what you're searching for is in front of you all this time. Like, you just have to look for it and stuff like that. However, it's actually, I have a very, very interesting story to go with that quote, which I actually don't even know what the exact quote is, but I just kind of made it up on the spot. So, what happened was, I remember, like, this was at least like 8 or 9 years ago. I was living in America at the time, and I had a cooking website, and I was really, really into photography. So I thought, oh, you know, wouldn't it be great if I made the recipe about cherry blossoms? Because it was like getting into spring, the winter has almost died down, and I was like, damn it, if only we lived in a country where there was cherry blossoms. Silly me, eh? I thought that. It's like, oh, and I kept looking at pictures of all the cherry blossoms, and I was just like dreaming about it one day. So I continued my dream, thinking that I would never be able to really experience cherry blossoms, because in my mind, for some reason, I just had this idea that cherry blossoms was only in one place, or like there's only really one place that you can really experience the cherry blossoms, and everywhere else is just like, nope, there's nothing. I don't know why I thought that, but that's just how I thought. So I just, you know, did all my stuff as usual until one day. Can you guess what happened? You probably can guess what happened. I was like walking around the neighborhood where I lived, and I saw these trees with lots of pink flowers. And I was like, what could possibly be flowering at this time? So I went and had a closer look, and to my shock, can you guess what it was? Yeah, it was cherry blossoms, or pear blossom, or apple blossoms. You know, those type of thing were exactly what I was looking for. And then I was just like, wait a minute, it was right here all along, and I spent all this time searching, thinking about how I'm going to experience it one day, and it was actually right in front of me the whole time. I was actually in disbelief. So I plucked a lot of the cherry blossoms, and I did my food recipes, and I also did a lot of photos with the cherry blossom. They turned out really quite nice, and I made like cherry blossom cups and cherry blossom drinks and cherry blossom, like pretty much anything that you could imagine that had cherry blossoms. I think I made it because I wanted to take the photos, because I just loved cherry blossoms. So what happened was, and then I realized, oh my god, there was actually many different types of cherry blossoms. So I went searching, and I found some with double petals, I found some with single petals, I found so many different damn cherry blossoms, and I never actually realized this before because I wasn't looking in the right place, and my mine was just like, oh, there's only one place, therefore I shouldn't even bother to look. And because of that, I actually missed it until that point when I really just saw the blossoms, because I was kind of a little bit on the lookout, maybe, like I wasn't until I was, if you know what I mean. And then I just saw them, and I was just like, how are there cherry blossoms? And then I realized, oh my god, cherry blossoms comes from cherry trees, oh my god. Or like there are ornamental ones too, but it comes from cherry trees. I don't know why, but it just slipped my mind that it's like a like an actual tree of something. Like I actually thought cherry blossoms were just the name of a exotic tree that only had those blossoms that they called cherry blossoms. I didn't even realize it came from cherry trees. So yeah, that is another silly thing that, like, just such a lack of knowledge and stuff. So it's really interesting because I can see that as a metaphor to life, right? That you're searching for something, you're looking for something. All this time you think, oh, I will never be able to find it because it's only in certain places, or only will be out of my reach or something, and then it's right in front of your bloody face and you don't even notice that. That's actually really interesting that it happened. Yeah, and when it happened to me, I thought of like a long time. I was thinking of making this into like a very important story and like message behind it, because it was just such a big moment for me that I realized, oh my god, like what I was searching for was actually in front of me the whole time and I didn't notice. So it comes down to like what you look for. I really think that it's like, oh, if you're looking for something, you'll find it. I feel like if you really, really want something, you'll find it no matter how difficult it is. Like, okay, unless the frickin' species is in your country, that's the only frickin' like, I'm using like, okay, I'm using as like an example of a specific, like, if you're looking for lunar moth and they're not in Australia, you're not gonna find it. Yeah, okay, that's, but you might be able to get the taxidermy online. So, you know what? It still works. But my point is, sometimes you have to really look around you to see if something what you really, really want is actually around you, because you might miss it if you were looking for something else. Like, if you were thinking, oh, it's really crazy that our ability to not notice certain things is pretty great. Like, I'll walk by something and I just won't notice certain features until I'm asked. And I remember ages ago there was like this quiz show or something where the person is like, oh, I'm gonna say something to you and you have to like remember all the details, and then I'm gonna ask you questions afterwards. I can't remember what show it was, but it was just one of those that like they tell you something and they ask you specific questions about the details. And I remember I had to struggle with that so much because I couldn't for the life of me remember all those little details because I don't notice it. It's like I'll look at stuff and I won't notice. Like if someone's like, I wouldn't even notice if someone I knew wore glasses that day or not. Like I would be like, wait a minute. Or like when there's a row of shops and then suddenly one closes down, but it's not like the shop that you always go to, and then goes like something new exciting is coming and you're like, what was here before? Like I didn't even notice. Oh my god, I can't even remember what was here before, and you're spending like so long trying to figure out what actually was here before. And I just think that is so interesting because like sometimes you just don't notice. And I feel like if we took more time, like if I took more time to notice the little things, I'd be able to like just experience things so much more, because there are such little things that bring joy, little things that bring like curiosity that we probably miss, or at least I probably miss because I'm not paying attention to it. So this is just very interesting. Like I just really want to encourage, if you're searching for something, I can't even think of an example that actually goes with this metaphor because I really can't think of it, but you can imagine the inspirational quote that comes with it is like, if you're searching for something, you may not realize it's in front of your eyes this whole time. So stop searching for it and let it come to you. Or something like that. Well, like let it come to you as in like just, I don't even know. Yeah, this is what happens when I try to give a motivational speech. It's like I come up with all this crap and I'm like, what am I even saying? It's pretty funny. But yeah, that is just one very, very interesting story. So there's actually other stories that I could tell, like there's a very, very interesting thing that happened to me when I was really young and actually made me realize something very important. And this was back in the day when they had in-stores. I don't know if you remember such a thing, like in-stores. It was a thing in Australia where the singer would go to a mall and do signing for a single, and you can singles, single CDs, like CDs that has singles. Yeah, it's not the album but the single. Yeah, anyway, so they had that, and I went to my favorite singer's in-store. It's literally called an in-store, INSTORE, in-store. So anyway, I had this great dream of getting like the perfect photo with the freaking singer, and I was so excited for so long. And when I went there, we went with friends and stuff. It was really fun and awesome. Got things signed. When I went there, I think I gave the camera to someone maybe who didn't really take the photo properly, but it was just a really weird like photo where I wasn't even with the singer. I was just like standing at the table below and stuff, and there was such a big difference. It may as well not be like, oh, I'm taking the photo with us. I'm just like standing on the freaking table like that's like below or something, and it was not what I wanted. So I was very disappointed at first, but then I was just thinking, okay, there's still chance, there is still chance, there is still chance, there is still chance, because the singer is still freaking here. She hasn't left yet. Oh my god, I gotta do this. So I fought against the wind and storm. I fought against the obstacles that come my way, as in the stampede, as in all the other people who also wanted a single signed and photos. No, I shouldn't call the freaking crowd a stampede, but to me at that age it felt like that, you know. It's like everyone's trying, and I just had this determination. I just had this determination that I had to get this photo. So I just kept going. I kept going. She actually walked through the crowd at one stage, or she was very, very close to me. And I just remember like gathering the tiny little courage. I was very nervous and shy, and I wasn't the type to like ask, but my overwhelming desire for that damn photo got me into this mood where I actually did something about it, which is very rare usually, because I am not the type of person to like really go hard on something unless I want it so bad that I do. So anyway, I fought against the crowd. I just kept pushing. I kept going and I kept going. I had that one goal, the desire to get this photo. And then guess what happened? I ended up asking about it when she walked like really close to me, and we took like what I consider like the best photo I can ever imagine. It was like perfect to me because she was right next to me. We had took this great photo. Back then we didn't have phones. No, it was not phones. It was just like a digital camera or something, and the photo had to be no, it wasn't the developed photo type. It was actually the digital camera age, but it was taken, and I was just so happy afterwards. I was just like in absolute over the moon. I was like the happiest thing. And of course, as you get older, your freaking goals might be different. Like at this age, my number one goal is still to take a photo with the people I desire most. I haven't changed at all. But the people who I want to take a photo with probably are different. Or like instead of singers and stuff, it may just be someone who really helped me a lot. Like someone. So, you know, it still hasn't changed at all. I still want to take that freaking photo. Well, even better, nowadays I'm like gotten even greedier, and I want to take like a whole video with the person. So anyway, but my point is, this story is just to tell you, you never can get something that you want unless you really fight for it and you really go for it. If I just said, oh yeah, that photo sucked, oh well, like too bad, it was just over, and then I just like sat there and like sulked and just got really, really sad about it and didn't do anything, I wouldn't have that perfect photo. But I have this photo now, and it will always remind me of how hard I fought that day. Not that I had a physical fight with someone, but you know, how hard I tried to get that photo, and in the end I really did succeed. Out of like so many people who were also there who wanted the photos, I was able to get a photo because I really, really, really fought hard for that. And I asked, and I kept going around, and I asked, and like not to be like creepy or anything, but just I kept persistent. No, I kept persisting. Is that a word? Persistent. I was very persistent. Yes, I think it is a word. It's one of those words that came out of my mouth and I'm like, that doesn't sound like a word, but anyway. But my point is, I just learned so much from that day, and that is like, you never will get something unless you ask for it. And of course, it could have not worked out. It could have been, but at least I tried, so I don't have regrets about it, right? But if I didn't even try and I just went, oh, it's too late, whatever, like, and I just gave up, I would never have this story, and I would never have the photo, and I would never have this kind of like energy in me to really go for something that I really, really want. And that's what something I really love is that whenever something is on my bucket list, as in like sometimes I'll have a bucket list and there'll be like certain people I want to talk to, certain people I want to meet, certain people I want to, you know, take a video with or take a photo with or whatever. I always try to go for it because I don't want to face with the regrets, and that's really important to me. So it could be anything for you, it could be anything, but if you don't go for it, you'll never get it. So yeah, you need to really fight for something that you want really hard, and not just like it's impossible now, but actually really fight for it. Fight for it, as in don't give up. Don't give up and keep asking, keep going for it. That's the main thing, is to not give up. Really, it really is just about not giving up and having the persistence, because I just cannot imagine if I just like went, I had this shitty photo, let me just go home now. I can't even imagine, like, I wouldn't have the photo. And to me, at that age, that photo was everything to me. You know, when you're young, like the singers that you like and the actors and the singers, like everything. These days, I feel like, you know, there are more than singers. There's also people who make videos that you really admire, but, you know, it's just, it was just so sweet at that age. I was so like, because I just really, really remember how much the music like influenced my life. It was just so amazingly inspirational. So that's why I really fell in love with the music, and then I was like so obsessed. Anyway, so my message today really is just two little stories that tell you some very important things, and that is, you might not realize what is already in front of you is what you're looking for. And the second story is, go hard on what you really, really want, because that will get you results in the end. May not happen right away, but it will get you some results, because every time when I tried really hard for something, I've always been able to get results. I've never like not had results. It's only when I give up or like slow down or do think whatever that I start losing the results. So yeah. Have a good morning.